somebody. Rise up, weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there and enjoying your Wednesday and whatnot. Man, what a morning. What a busy morning. I got some things I got to talk to you guys about, but we're going to get into a bunch of stuff today. There's a bunch of stories that are going on right now, and we are going to chop it up, real talk. But, sorry, still just trying to put some stuff together really quick before we get started. But I appreciate everybody who's on here right now, being a part of the conversation, being a part of this, the world of the chaos that we're dealing with every single day right now. Some craziness, y'all. And here it is. Yes. Boondocks happy hump day to everybody. Real talk. Happy hump day. Hopefully it's an amazing one for all you guys and all that. There's a lot to talk about. There's kind of a smattering of different things. There's some things I didn't get a chance to cover yesterday because of the interview I had with Ryan Brandt, the waitress that was fired for not willing to split up her $4,000 tips that she was gifted by her customers, by her patrons that came into the restaurant. Had an exclusive interview with her yesterday on the last show. So definitely go check that out. That would be greatly appreciated. And of course, I did a pop-up yesterday about a judge throwing out some not so savory words. So if you haven't checked that out, that pop-up video, definitely go check that out as well. But yes, we got a couple things. Some of these things are not huge, not huge, controversies as far as like on the political realm or anything of that sort. But there are some other stories that I have covered in the past that are now coming back to light now. And we're getting some new information and new truths about these things. So we are going to be talking about those things here very, very shortly. Man, there's just so much to go through. We're going to get into it really, really soon. But before we get into it, right? Hit that like button down below. Send those likes all the way up. Send those likes all the way up. Let's start this hump day on a good... Let's thrust this hump day into a positive realm right now by hitting that like button down below. Send those likes all the way up. I see you guys starting to file in. You know what I'm saying? Good morning to every single person. All right. Good morning. All right. And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button. All right. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, we got to get into these stories, y'all. Now, there's something that was popping off yesterday. I didn't get a chance to talk about it. And obviously, I've been covering this whole tornado situation, not only in just Kentucky, but also in Edwardsville, Illinois, where the Amazon warehouse was decimated. As we already know, was completely annihilated, where it took the lives of 6 individuals, 6 Amazon employees. And now this is a very interesting thing that's going on right now. And this was something that broke as of the night before, not last night, but the night before last night. And this is just absolutely nuts. And I'm not surprised at the same time. I'm not. So we're going to look at this article right quick. OSHA opens investigation into fatal Amazon warehouse collapse in Illinois. Now, obviously, the collapse did not happen on its own. Let's just be really honest. All right. Let's give this warehouse and Amazon the benefit of the doubt. There was a massive tornado that came in there and just ripped everything from the inside out. Okay. And the thing is I got some stories to tell you guys, and I will tell you guys this in a little bit. And, it's devastating. It's devastating information. I'll explain in a little bit. Okay. So 6 workers, obviously, at the warehouse were confirmed dead after this tornado struck on that past Friday. And like I said, it's just terrible. So the Occupational Safety and Health Administration has opened an investigation into the collapse of an Amazon warehouse in Illinois that left 6 people dead. The damage was caused by a tornado that swept through the area Friday evening, leaving a path of destruction across three states. In addition to the 6 people killed at the Amazon warehouse, 45 were rescued. That's, of course, great news, according to the New York Times, which reported that the local authorities had some difficulty determining how many people were in the facility at the time, since many who work out of the warehouse are contractors for other companies. OSHA investigates all workplace all workplace fatalities, and we are supporting them. Amazon's spokesperson Kelly Nantel said in an email to The Verge, which is the article I'm reading right here. As first reported by the CNBC, OSHA will have 6 months to complete its investigation, issue any citations, and propose penalties if the agency determines safety or health regulations were violated. Former Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos said in a tweet on Saturday that his thoughts and prayers were with the families of the workers who died. All of Edwardsville should know that the Amazon team is committed to supporting them and will be by their side through this crisis, Bezos tweeted. So, obviously, this is what we know right now. OSHA, which is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, is going to be, it has opened up an investigation. There has been a lot of situations that have been popping off, right? There's been a lot of speculations that have been going off as well. And let me show this to you guys. I mean, this is this is just, this is just some crazy stuff. All right. Now, there's something that I tweeted on Twitter a couple hours ago, or late last night, okay, or early this morning. I posted something on my Twitter, so please be sure to follow me on Twitter, the Pascal Show, one word. Shameless plug, but you know how it is. I gotta do what I gotta do, of course. But I'm posting a lot of stuff on there now as well, just covering the certain things that I don't get a chance to really jump on in front of a camera and do a pop-up video or put in my 2 cents and my commentary on. But I was planning on talking about this one in particular, which I am going to show you guys here very, very shortly. But there is an article here that I found kind of interesting, and it just makes you scratch your head. And this is one of the reasons why I feel OSHA is getting involved. And it says it right here. Amazon worker who died in warehouse collapse wasn't allowed to leave, girlfriend says. Let me repeat that one more time. Amazon worker who died in warehouse collapse wasn't allowed to leave, according to his girlfriend, to his partner. Okay. Now, you obviously can see here, this is the warehouse, decimated, completely blown up. It looks like a bomb went off on the inside of this building, of this warehouse, right? Now, it's just terrible because remember, I did a pop-up video, if I'm correct. I did a pop-up video where I talked about the candle factory in Mayfield, Kentucky, where they're literally sitting there saying, hey, they weren't allowed to leave either. If they left, that would be termination of their job. If they left, they would get fired, right? Excuse me. Let me show you this one more time. This title, one more again for the nosebleed seats, okay? Amazon worker who died in warehouse collapse wasn't allowed to leave, according to the girlfriend. Oh, and there's a text message. There's some text messages. There's screenshots of the text message conversation that they had. So this is kind of the same story we're hearing that we heard about the candle factory, which, by the way, with that candle factory, they said, oh, no. We don't do that. If you don't feel like you want to be there, you can work for 15 minutes and leave at any time you want. And don't worry, you won't get fired. You can always come back the next day. I'm going, wait, that doesn't make any sense. That clearly does not make any sense. So you're telling me that you can go into the job, and this only pertains to the candle factory. You can go into that candle factory and go, yeah, I don't really feel like working today. I'm out. Deuces. Chuck up the deuces and kick rocks. Come back the very next day and you still got a job? And they cool with that? That doesn't make any sense. Mims, as I've been saying lately, make it make sense. Yet 15 plus employees in that candle factory are claiming that their supervisors said, nope, can't leave. If you leave, you're fired. Yet they have a policy where you can leave anytime you want and come back willy-nilly, and you still got your job. You can still secure them bags. That doesn't make any sense, y'all. Doesn't make any sense. But that's why I'm saying this is weird. That factory had that same thing right here. Amazon worker who actually died in that warehouse, one of the 6, is saying that he texted his girlfriend saying he could not leave the warehouse. Why? Let's get into the article. One of the victims who was killed when the tornado collapsed on Amazon warehouse in Illinois texted his girlfriend before the deadly tornado struck, saying that the company had ordered him to hold off driving home and to stay put until the storm passed. The Amazon worker's name is Larry Verdon, 46 years old. He was killed Friday night when the roof came down at the massive Amazon facility. I got text messages from him. He always tells me when he's filling up the Amazon truck, when he's getting ready to go back. I was like, okay, I love you. He's like, well, Amazon won't let me leave until after the storm blows over. His girlfriend of 13 years says this, Sherry Jones. This is what she told the Post on Sunday. She said the text was sent around 8:23 p.m., 16 minutes before the tornado reportedly touched down at 8:39 p.m. The couple lived in nearby Collinsville, which Jones said is about 13 minutes away from the warehouse. So this man, so Larry could have gotten home. Larry could have gone home and would have been safe. Or if the tornado really went down and wanted to decimate through the town, he could at least be with his loved ones and protect the people that he loves. Just saying. Repeat this one more time. She said the text was sent 8:23 p.m. That's 16 minutes before it reportedly went down, which was at 8:39 p.m. And the couple only lived 13 minutes away from the warehouse. So you're telling me, because it from where it happened, where this tornado went down, the tornado, he could have driven 5 minutes away and he would have been okay. You know what I'm saying? He could have driven 10 minutes, shoot, the 13 minutes away from that warehouse, and he still would have been okay. But why did the supervisors tell this man right here, Larry, and 9 other people to go hide and don't come out until we tell you to come out? Why wouldn't they just let them go home? Why would they just let these people go home? Including the 45 people that were found safe. And let me just say this. Thank God those people are safe. But there were 9 people that were that were buried in rubble, and only 3 of them survived. Only 3. You have Sherry Jones right here looking obviously lovingly to her man, Larry Verdon. And from what I understand, he was a really good dude. I got stories for you guys. I got stories. We heard the tornado didn't touch down until 8:39, so he had 20 minutes to get home, she said. I messaged him, and that was the last text message I got from him. She said, I told him uh, I told him where we live. It was only lightning at the time. After that, I got nothing from him. Here's another photo of Larry. Like I said, from my understanding, good stand-up dude. Just a good dude. Good dude. Verdon, who worked for Amazon for 5 months, was the father of 4 children, including adopted children, and the couple of 13 years had 3 children together between the ages of 9 and 12. So he was a father. I guess the article, okay, asked if if Sherry Jones faults Amazon for his death. Jones said in a sigh, not really, but it's that what if situation. What if they would have let him leave? He could have made it home. Amazon said that the Edwardsville site received a tornado warning through various alerts, and the team on the site at the time worked to get as many workers and partners into a designated shelter area. She said he liked working at the company because he could go work outside. Verdon was an U.S. Army veteran who served in Iraq. You know, like I said, sounds like a good guy. Wanted to, really like to be active, like to roll up his sleeves and get his hands dirty. Loved to be outside. Loved the outdoors. Obviously, an obedient, right, employee, trusting employee. When the supervisor said, "Hey, go on in here. This is where you're going to be," he did so with 8 other people. And unfortunately, he didn't come back out alive. What I find very interesting, what I find extremely interesting is where is it? What? Oh, okay. What I find very interesting are the text messages, right? I mean, it's here. I'm going to show it to you guys because, that's what we're here for, to talk about these things. Bam. Says right here. And you can find this on my Twitter page, okay? The Pascal Show, at the Pascal Show, one word. But here's a screenshot of their conversation. It's Larry Verdon right there on the top, and it says, Amazon, like I'll just put my mouse right here. Amazon won't let us leave. All it's doing here is lightning. So what you doing? I hope everything is okay. I love you. All those messages were sent, but he wasn't responding. Because at that time, he was buried feet underneath rubble. Or what remained of the warehouse. So I do have a little bit of story time. And there's only so much I can say right now. Okay. Had a conversation with one of the survivors last night. Good person. Very, very good person. They told me what went down. I'm hoping that I can have this individual on the show at some point here very, very soon. They're hurting a lot, not only just physically, but of course, mentally, emotionally. And I had a very in-depth conversation with them off the record. Of course, I can't really say much here because I got to respect this person, got to respect this individual. But the story that they told me was heartbreaking, given the fact that they knew the people that passed, that they didn't, some of them they didn't know. They were like, hey, I only knew this dude for 5 seconds. I am hoping that this individual comes on, of course. But the extra information about OSHA, about Amazon, I mean, the stuff that I heard is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Now, there is something I can say this, all right? There is something I can say. Because I did ask this individual about the whole Amazon won't let us leave hashtag that's been going on. They said, I can't tell you on behalf of what everybody else heard, but I can say what I heard. They were saying that it was like, okay. When it comes to supervisors in the warehouse, there's only so much you can do. As soon as the supervisors say something, you do it. They said it's like, if they tell you to jump, you ask how high. That's basically it. What they say is the law, period. So, of course, when the supervisors came up to all the employees and said, hey, y'all, go hide out, they did exactly as such. Now, where they went to hide out, I mean, the thing is it's so interesting where they went to hide out, what places that they went to move and seek shelter. And I guess with the 9 that were, of course, 9 victims / survivors, some of them really, I mean, all of them were, it was almost like the last minute, right? They were kind of like the last people to come into the building. And I mean, this is what I've assessed from this conversation I had with this employee. And then all of a sudden, you didn't hear anything because the machines were still going on. And then out of nowhere, it was just like that. And then just debris, rubble, everything, chaos. There's a lot of people right now, but that's all I can say really, right? But what they told me is that, hey, there was only so much we could do. Once the supervisor says you're going over here, you go over there. Whether they were allowed to leave or not allowed to leave, that's not what they told me. They were just like, hey, supervisor said that there's a tornado situation going on. We need to get you inside, and you do not come out of this room until I tell you otherwise. And that's what happened. Now, as far as Larry Verdon's side of the thing, I don't know what's going on with that side. He may have said, hey, I'm right down the street. I want to go home. That could have been his own individual claim, his own individual thing, right? He could have been like, I just want to get the hell out of here. I want to go home to my family. And that supervisor could have said, no, just stay with us. Let's just ride it out. Just in the defense of everything. Because, it's an act of God. How do you know? You know what I'm saying? How do you know something like that's going to pop off like that? Real talk. How do you know? Right? But at the same time, you got people that just want to leave. And if that's their choice, right? But then if you think about it, and this is just throwing this out here as a other side of the fence perspective, it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you are an owner of a big ass business, right? Because here's the thing. What if he got into the car? What if Larry, let's just use Larry for example. What if Larry, may rest in peace, of course, but what if Larry jumped into the car? What if the supervisor said, fine, go, man. Good luck. Godspeed, right? He gets in the car. He drives home. On the way home, tornado goes in, wipes him out. Let's just say, what if? Now, would Amazon be held responsible for letting him go? See what I'm saying? So it's a very weird and interesting situation because you don't know where everything's going to go, right? You don't know who's going to be safe. You don't know who's not going to be safe. You don't know where this tornado is going to drop, right? You don't know where it's going to form. You don't know if it's going to form right over your building or if it's going to form right in the middle of the interstate. You just don't know. So when it comes to this, what do you do if you are a supervisor? Now, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying that, we already know Amazon's got their stories. Peeing in Gatorade bottles and all about timetables, and they're all about productivity, and they don't give a damn about their employees. We all been knowing that, right? But when it comes to something like this, what do you do if you're a supervisor? What do you do in that situation? It's a bad look. I'll be really honest. It's a real bad look when you have something like this out here in the ether. It's a bad look, y'all. Amazon won't let us leave. Bruh, that's bad. It's not a good look. Now, here's the thing. I read that and I see that. And I even put it in my own post on Twitter saying, hey, this is allegedly the last text that Amazon employee Larry Verdon sent to his girlfriend before the tornado hit. If I'm reading this, if what I'm reading is true, let the investigations begin. Absolutely, I do think that they need to look into this, including the candle factory in Mayfield. You're telling me that there's people out here that wanted to go home and you weren't allowing them to go home? That I find strange. You have an act of God going on, And these people want to be as far away as they possibly can from wherever this thing's going on, or they're going, I just want to be with my family. I want to see I want it to be the last image that I see before if I'm ever to go, be the images of my loved ones. I want to see my family. I don't want to see no Amazon employee. I want to go home and hug my kids, hug my wife, hold them, or my partner, and hold them tight. And if that means I'm still gone, but they're safe, at least I was there to protect them. Like I said, it's a very tough one. But I did have a very in-depth conversation with an individual last night. And I'm telling you, I mean, this person's echoing the same amount of pain as everybody else is experiencing. Every single person that was there just for, I mean, I know a couple guys that were there before the tornado hit, and they're devastated. They weren't in the place when the tornado hit. They were home, but the fact that they were so rocked by the fact that they were this close from being underneath that rubble, right? From being somewhere and being one of the 45, right, that survived. Still, it shakes you to the core. The fact that you're going, oh my gosh, I made it by the skin of my teeth. Whether you're the 45 or the person that clocked out early that day to go home, all those people, every last one of them is emotionally devastated over this situation. So I guess the question remains, is it right that OSHA is doing a lengthy investigation, which they say is going to take about 6 months? I say, yeah, why not? I do find it strange that if people said, I want to go home, and allegedly supervisor said, no, you go right over there and you wait until I say to come out. That is a little strange to me. Like I said, there's got to be a certain level of free will on certain things. And here it is. If somebody leaves, and of course, like the scenario I said, and the tornado still takes that person out, well, that person asked to leave, right? That's not the responsibility of Amazon or any business, right? But the fact that they said, no, you ain't going nowhere, plant your ass right in here, and you come out when I tell you, responsibility. It's not a good look, especially with everything else on top of it. But like I said, the stories I've been hearing about all these different things, OSHA, higher ups from Amazon, and the sort, it's really interesting, especially for the survivors of this tornado. And I'm even talking about the survivors, the 45 people that survived as well. Right? Not only just the people that are inside, that were the 9 that were in another area, right? They're all getting questioned. And a lot of them are nervous about talking. Understandably. I do not blame them. But like I said, OSHA is investigating the tornado or the warehouse and everything that happened inside of that warehouse before the tornado hit. And I guess after, maybe? I don't know. But hopefully we'll get some more news and you'll hear it right here on the Pascal Show. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping to get some people on the show to get an exclusive to talk about this stuff. And like I said, it's just hard, man. It's hard. There's a lot of people that lost some good people, you know. And there's a lot of people that are mourning right now, especially right before Christmas. I mean, shoot, it's what, 10 days till 10 days. 10 days till Christmas, y'all. So fingers crossed on them seeking the truth. And maybe this will hopefully wake Bezos and the higher beings that be, the higher ups that be, that run the policies and implement all these policies and guidelines. Maybe they'll finally wake the F up and go, oh, our employees are humans too. Who would have thunk it? And they will reconfigure what they're doing. That's what I'm hoping for. Other than them saying, oh, we're going to pay for your medical bills and the funeral bills as well. No, they need to go a little bit more beyond that. For real. Anyway, moving on to the next story. Man. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button down below. I see almost 400 souls watching the show right now. Please hit that like button down below. Send those likes all the way up. That would really, really mean a lot. I'll just put this up just for ish and giggles. Okay. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. Okay. Yeah. Amazon's crazy, y'all. Amazon is absolutely crazy. So we got to jump into this next piece. This next story. And I today I was kind of like, I really just want to kind of keep it, I wanted to talk about that thing, talk about OSHA and the Amazon building warehouse in Edwardsville. I had to talk about that, but then I was like, you know what? We need to talk about this other stuff. I covered this story a while back. I mean, this feels like eons ago, right? Where Tory Lanez gets in some sort of altercation with Megan Thee Stallion. There's a reason why I'm talking about this, y'all. So before you guys go, the hell you talking about this, man? The hell. Well, there's a reason why I'm talking about this, because this story is just jacked up. And also because I covered the story about a year or so ago. So we have to talk about it. Okay. And the Pioneer, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Pascal Show family right here on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the family. But I'm just going to show you guys the article, because I don't understand why this dude said what he said, but he said what he said. Okay. So according to the Variety, this article I got from Variety, they said Tory Lanez yelled, "Dance, B," before shooting Megan Thee Stallion, detective claims. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but I think it was like a year ago. I don't know, a year ago or so, Megan Thee Stallion was in some sort of altercation with Tory Lanez, where in the very beginning there was a thing where they said, yeah, it was like a year ago. They said, this is nuts. They said that she said that she stepped on some glass, right? 5-0 pulls up. They're inside the car, right? She claims that she stepped on some broken glass. She gets surgery done. Next thing you know, they're saying, oh, no. This was a gunshot wound. She was shot in the foot, right? And Tory Lanez and one of her friends happened to be in the room, happened to be in the area as well, and a bodyguard, right? So then all of a sudden, at first she said broken glass. Then her story changed, right? So she goes, bang, hey, the narrative that is being reported about Sunday morning's events are inaccurate, and I'd like to set the record straight. On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention of physically harming me. I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets, plural. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I'm expected to have full recovery or make a full recovery. But it was important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic night. I'm currently focused on my recovery so I can return back to life and back to making music as soon as possible. Now, as you see here in the corner, I'm not going to play the audio, but on the side, you see the actual footage where somebody was off to the side shooting this, like filming this whole thing. Megan Thee Stallion, the friend, they had gone to a pool party. Just a quick refresher for you guys. Went to a pool party, Kylie Jenner's pool party. Isn't it funny how she's connected to all this craziness recently? Kylie Jenner, I mean. Anyway, Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion and another girl and a bodyguard drove in a car. They left and they got into some sort of altercation. Okay. Cops pull up. She said, I stepped in some glass. And then she ends up getting taken to the hospital. Now, of course, this is a story and they've been covering it like crazy. Obviously, I need to show you guys this too, which is just ridiculous. She goes on and she says this stuff.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Yes.
Okay. So at first she tells everybody it was just broken glass. She says it's broken glass. And then she finally goes on her IG and says, no, he shot me. Quit lying. He shot me. Right? Okay, fine. That's cool. It's cool. So now, of course, they're doing an investigation. Now they're sitting here in this trial, if I'm correct. And Tory Lanez allegedly screams out, dance. I'm just going to, you know what I mean? Calling her the B word, but dance snitch. Let's just use that. Before shooting her. Like it's that scene in Back to the Future 3. Back to the Future Part 3. Dance, boy. You know what I mean? Doing the moonwalk and everything. You feel me? So anyway, an intoxicated, and they were all really, really drunk. Let's just remember that too. An intoxicated Tory Lanez allegedly shouted out, dance, snitch, before shooting at Megan Thee Stallion during a roadside dispute after a July 2020 party at Kylie Jenner's house, hitting her in the foot, according to a police officer's testimony at Lane's preliminary hearing Tuesday in his felony assault case in Los Angeles. Lane's real name is Daystar Peterson. Interesting. Is charged with felony assault regarding the July 2020 incident, which took place following a party at Kylie Jenner's home in the Hollywood Hills. Megan observed Mr. Peterson holding a firearm, and then she observed him start to shoot. An LA police detective, Ryan Stogner, testified on Tuesday, basing his account on interviews with Megan. Her real name is Megan Pete. He said Megan described Peterson. That's interesting. His last name is Peterson. Her last name is Pete. That's weird. Okay, anyway. He said Megan described Peterson as half in, half out on the stepboard of the vehicle when he allegedly fired, Stogner said. Megan immediately felt the pain in her foot, observed blood, fell to the ground, and then crawled to an adjacent driveway of a residence. She described her injuries as bleeding profusely. Megan stated that the defendant apologized for doing it and offered her money and begged her to please not say anything and made a reference to the fact that he was already on probation, and he begged her not to say anything, Stogner testified. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe she got paid, y'all. Maybe she got paid, and that's why she said, no, I was stepping on broken glass, and see what happened was it was broken glass. What? He begged her to to please not say anything. You just shot her in the foot, bruh. Dance, snitch, bang, pew, pew, in the foot. She makes money using her feet. She dances and twerks and stuff. And so now you're going, hey, don't shoot me, or don't say anything. Please, don't say anything. I'll pay you money. I'm on probation. I'll do anything, man. But you went pew pew in her little feet. I'm surprised none of her little piggies got blown off. I'm being real. Like, that's crazy. This is a person that makes her money hoofing. And you shoot her in the hoof? That's stupid, y'all. I'm sorry. That is stupid. Megan has made this claim in the past. And a September 2020 report in Complex citing an unnamed source made a similar claim about Lane's alleged comments at the incident. So this is being backed up by somebody else as well. So what this detective is saying, somebody else said as well. Say, hey man, don't do this. I'm on probation. And then, if you on probation, why do you pull the trigger? If you on probation, why do you have the gun? You're not an island boy. You're not an island boy. Why do you need the gun? Why do you need a gun if you're on probation, bruh? Explain that. Okay, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Keith Bourgeon upheld the assault charges Tuesday against Lanez, who is due back in court on January 13th, and at one point angrily shouted at Stogner after he spoke of the rapper calling a friend of Megan's from jail to apologize. How about you tell me what I was apologizing for, bro? That don't make no sense. He shouted before being asked to be quiet by his attorney, Sean Hawley and Bourgeon. Of course, he's facing 2 felony charges: assault with a semi-automatic firearm and carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, along with additional allegation that he personally inflicted great bodily injury. Prosecutors say he is facing up to 22 years and 8 months in prison if convicted of the charges. The purpose of Tuesday's hearing was to determine whether the matter will go to trial. According to the Los Angeles Times, both Lanez and Hawley declined to comment outside of the courtroom. While the two offered dramatically differing details about the incident, Lanez has repeatedly denied Megan's account in social media posts and even in an hour-long album with extensive lyrics addressing the accusations against him. So he went and he wrote some songs about this. He put his pen to pad and wrote a song about it, or 2 or 3 or 4, or a whole album. Without directly saying he did not shoot her, beyond indirect statements in lyrics like, I ain't do it. Oh, man. You can't write this one, baby. You can't even write this. I ain't do it. This little pinky went, I don't know. This little piggy. All right. Pew pew. Sources say that two sides were close to reaching a plea deal last month. Lane's attorney, Holly, declined to comment at the hearing last month, but told Rolling Stone that the rapper's plea of not guilty stands. So, there you go. I ain't do it. There it is, y'all. So he literally goes up, dance, snitch. I don't understand. Like, what makes somebody want to get that gun and then turn to them and then just start pew-pewing towards their feet? Somebody help me out, because I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I don't mean to laugh. It's just kind of comical to me, y'all. What makes somebody go, hey, yeah, man, I'm so angry at this person, I'm going to pull out my gun and shoot at the ground and say, dance, snitch. He's a very, very, he's very, very minimal in stature, too. Let me just point that out, too. He tiny. He real tiny. Okay, I'm sorry. He's short as F, okay? So in my mind, I keep thinking, well, maybe he was feeling some type of way, given the fact that this woman is statuesque. I mean, she a tall, sturdy woman, okay? This is a tall girl. And he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's minimal in stature. That he's just like, okay, the only way I can get my point across is by pulling out this gun and shooting towards her feet and saying, dance, snitch, before pulling the trigger. And then after he does said thing, he runs over to her and says, oh, no, I'm so sorry. Don't do that. Don't tell anybody that I did this. How are you not going to tell anybody? Like, what? How are you not going to tell somebody that you did what you did? They're going to sit there and go, so that, love the outfit, but what happened right there on your feet? You got a hole in your foot. Oh, see what had happened was, I'm not saying that he's a little person. Come on, Pioneer. I ain't saying that, but he's minimal. He's like Tom Cruise height, and he's like 100 and something pounds. He's like 100 pounds wet. He's skin and bones, and he's really, really short. And then you got Megan Thee Stallion that can overpower him easily. Probably bench press him with one hand. Real talk. She's a strong woman. And he probably felt emasculated, and he felt the only way that he can show his manlyhood is by pulling out a gun. And that's exactly what he did. And then he said, hey, pew pew, dance, snitch. Sad. It's sad. So if he is actually going to see the inside of a jail cell or a prison cell for 22 years and 8 months, I say let him go in there. Let him on in. But I really don't know why in the very beginning Megan Thee Stallion lied. Cops showed up and she said, oh, there's nothing going on here. Nothing happened here, y'all. Nothing happened. I stepped in some glass. Why didn't she just say the truth? Then she went ahead and went to her IG live a couple times, actually, and was like recanting her story over and over and over again. He shot me in the foot. He did that. He did that. Yes, you did, Tory Lanez. Don't you act like you didn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Just saying. You know what my theory is, though? I think what happened is when he said, oh, snap, oh, please, he was apologizing. He begged her not to say anything. He made a reference to the fact that he was already on probation. He offered her money. I think what happened is he said, I will pay you such and such dollars if you don't say anything. And I think that's what happened. She goes, maybe I'll scoop up that bag real quick. F it. Yeah, I'm going to scoop that bag. He shot me in the foot, sure. And she, in her drunk mind, because they were all really inebriated that night. So maybe in her mind, she's like, it's just a little scratch. What's a couple million, extra million my bank account for getting shot in the foot? Maybe I will do that. No, I stepped in glass. I'm okay. I stepped in glass, right? Next thing you know, pulls out the bullets, plural, not just one, but 2 times a lady, okay? Bullets, not just a bullet, bullets out of her foot. She sat there, and I'm sure he sat there, and he goes, nah, I ain't paying you nothing, girl. What are you talking about? You what? You think I'm going to pay you? What? I ain't paying you nothing. And she goes, oh, you're not paying me? Okay, then I'm going on my live. Done. So then she goes, you know what I mean? He probably reneged on what he said he was going to do. Because here's the thing. As Zozo Bob said, Bullet Smollett. That's funny. But no, because it is true. Bullets were taken out of her. That is true. Those bullets did come out of his gun. That is also true. So it's not some fake ass, juicy Smollett situation. He pulled the gun, shot at her feet, said, dance, B word, and shot her in the foot. And then when he realized he did what he did, he goes, I will do anything. I will pay you. I'll give you $1 million if you don't say nothing. And she probably said, well, my toes are intact. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my toes are still here. I got a couple holes in my feet, but hey, it's all right. I'm still scooping $1 million. I'm still getting $1 million or $2. Bet that. Let's make it so. And then he probably changed his tune when he sobered the F up. Period. That's what I think. And then she said, F this. You know what I mean? I'm done. I'm out. You want to do what? You're going to change your mind on the deal that man, I just saved your ass. You could have been gunned down by those police. If I said anything about you shooting me, you could have been killed. In this climate, you could have been dead. Whew. Anyway, I just thought that was very interesting. It was a story I covered a long time ago, and I was like, all right, we got to talk about that because that's just ridiculous, okay? But moving on, we got to move on to our next story. Like I said, all this is kind of light stuff. This is light work today, all right? Shorter show today than usual. But we got to talk about this Ben Affleck stuff. Yeah, we got to talk about Ben Affleck. Affleck. So this is just weird. Oh, and O.J. Simpson his parole is over, so he is a free man now. Yeah. Moving on. That's just a short story. That it doesn't have to be that big of a thing. But moving on to our next story. Don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Appreciate it. All right, we got to talk about Ben Affleck, okay? Affleck has been divorced from Jennifer Gardner, his ex-wife, for a while now. He is now with Jennifer Lopez. I don't really care about that stuff. But one thing that I do find very interesting is he had an interview with Howard Stern. And the thing is that this is just ridiculous. Okay. This is just sad. He said, well, this is what they say in the title of this Daily Mail article, but it says, you blame your ex-wife for drinking. Ben Affleck is slammed for saying he felt trapped in the marriage to Jennifer Garner and would never have got sober and stopped smashing the scotch if they were still together. Verbatim. So we got the audio. I think it's very interesting because, of course, you know, who says that, right? But says here in a couple bullets here, the actor, 49, told Howard Stern on Tuesday that he felt trapped in his decade-long marriage to Garner before they split in 2015. Ben, who is pictured being driven to rehab by his wife, his ex-wife, in 2018, said he'd still be drinking had he not have split with Garner. Let me just say that again, because here it is. It was a very big story where he went to rehab. She was in the driver's seat. She was driving his ass. The person that he says was the reason why he was driven to drinking was driving him to rehab. So this person was that bad? But yes, she's the one in the car driving you to rehab? Having your back? Okay. The actor is currently in a relationship with J-Lo. We already know this. Who has spoken out in the past about the fact that she rarely drinks alcohol. I can believe that. I can actually believe that. Look at that skin. Holy cow. That's called surgery. Okay. But anyway, Lopez, 52, has previously said that she believes alcohol ruins your skin, and she therefore tries to avoid it as much as possible. Smart woman. Smart lady. Okay. So we got the audio. He's in this interview with Howard Stern. Now, the thing is that I want you guys to hear this, and I would love to hear your thoughts on, is he being a jerk or is this being taken out of context? That is the ongoing question here. Because here it is, y'all. Who says that about their ex, right? Unless it was an extremely volatile relationship, right? If it was extremely volatile if it was an extremely volatile relationship that drove you to drink, I get that. But when it's something that has nothing to do with that, and it's a good person that's got your back, that's been there for you, and all that stuff, do you say certain things like this? Take a listen.
You know, during the divorce, they printed fucking horrible lies. Horrible, mean.
Like what? What were the lies?
I don't even want to give voice to it because then goes, oh, they said this, they said that. Anything you read about that was bullshit. The truth was, we took our time, we made the decision. We didn't want to show the kind of, we grew apart. We had a marriage that didn't work. This happens. There's somebody I love and respect, but to whom I shouldn't be married any longer. We said, you know what? We don't want to. Ultimately, we tried because we had kids. And then we said, both of us felt like we don't want this to be the model that our kids see of marriage. Biggest really compromised. I don't want them to grow up and go, oh, my parents fucking. And you know what? I would have ended up fucking, we're probably at each other's throats. I'd probably still be drinking. You know, like It was just part of why I started drinking alcohol because I was trapped. You know, I was like, I can't leave because of my kids, but I'm not happy. What do I do? And what I did was like, you know, drink a bottle of scotch and fall asleep on the couch, which turned out not to be the solution.
Were you ever suicidal Ben? Were you ever suicidal during that point? Did you have thoughts of like, I should just kill myself and just be done with this?
Never once. Never once.
Okay. So you heard it. You heard what he said, right? And I have some thoughts, right? I have some thoughts about this. Because I feel like a lot of people are going, okay, let's bury this dude. But I think some of it's being taken out of context just a little bit, y'all. And I know a lot of y'all are going to be like, what the hell? I thought you were just going to go in on him. Yeah, I'm going to go in on him a little bit too. But I understand what he's trying to say. it's just, I feel like people are taking what he's saying and completely taking it out of context. Completely out of context. He's not saying that this person is a terrible person that drove him to drink. He's saying that I'm in a situation where I felt trapped, that I didn't know what to do. Not my ex-wife was trapping me, but he was trapped within his own situation. It wasn't her. It was the situation. It was the marriage. It was the fact that that they weren't clicking. It was a marriage that wasn't working out. And the struggle of trying to stay with somebody that you're not happy with, you're not in love with, but you're doing everything you can because you're going, okay, well, maybe I can endure this until they're 18 years old, until the kids are 18 years old. There's a lot of people that do that, right? Or they think, oh, well, let's have more kids. Let's have more kids because that's going to keep us together, right? They try to find connection through their children, right? So I think just out of this whole situation, I don't think this is automatically him saying Jennifer Garner drove me to drink. I think he's saying my relationship I was in with Jennifer Garner drove me to drink because we were both not happy. I was not happy. I was stuck. I felt lost. So I started drinking. That was my way of coping. God knows what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? God knows what she was doing. She could have been doing a whole bunch of different things, right? She could have been finding anything under the sun, right? To cope, to deal with this stuff, right? Being the perfect mom, you know, super focused on her children. I mean, you never know. People cope with things very differently. And some people just go after vices. They lean harder on the things, their addictions and whatnot. And that's exactly what he did. So instead of everyone riding him, because he's been a bad boy. We already know about that. So ride him for what he's done in the past and whatnot. But I don't think this is something where you can turn to him and say, oh, this guy is a jerk because he just said that Jennifer Garner drove him to drink. And I don't think that's the case. I think he was already drinking. And the fact that he had those frustrations on not being happy, the frustrations of trying to work something out that maybe he really didn't want to work out, drove him to drink even more. Gave him an excuse to get effed up every single night. Drink that whole bottle of scotch, get twisted, get all mucked up in the head, and, and pass out, right? But yeah, I think this situation is being taken out of context. For sure. Exactly. You saying exactly what I'm saying, Rondell. Yes, already drinking, but then using this as an excuse to do more. Absolutely. We all have that thing. We all have that thing in our heads where we just want to find that excuse to just, eat one more donut or to, drink that one more shot or roll that one more blunt or, whatever. It's just kind of like, you had a long day, bro. Or, man, does she really love you? She doesn't even love you, man. So just keep drinking, bro. It's totally fine, bro. And then you're like, yeah, man, you're right. I'm going to keep drinking. And then that's what happens, right? Next thing you know, whole bottle of scotch or whatever you're drinking, gone. Kayla Jor said, oh, not the blunt. But you know what I'm saying, right? Because most people have a tendency to really relish in wallowing in self-pity. That is something that we all do. We all have those moments, right? Where we get really frustrated or really upset about certain things, really tired about something. And we use that as an excuse to lash out, to act up, to make worse choices than that choice that you're dealing with at that time. And that's what's sad. So when it comes to this situation with Ben Affleck, okay, yeah, he said what he said, but I don't think it was a part of him saying, yeah, she drove me to drink. It's all her fault. This is the reason why I'm an alcoholic. No, because if it really was that case, she would not be the one driving his ass to rehab and picking his ass up from rehab when he walked out, because that's exactly what she did. It was, I'm trapped in an unhealthy, unsuccessful relationship. We have kids together, so I feel trapped, and I don't know what to do. And that sucks. That really, really sucks. But I think that's very important, right? That communication is key. Communication is king, right? Or queen to any situation, right? Instead of bottling all that stuff inside of yourself, because it just rots. And like I said, it just turns into, you lean towards a vice, or you figure out that you have a new vice. You create a new vice to cope with this frustration or the sadness or the depression that you have going on inside of yourself. This is the reason why it's more than ever important to speak to a professional, speak to a friend. Speak it out, talk it out. Find something positive, right? That you can funnel your energy towards, funnel that negative energy into something, right? Into something positive, or take that negative energy and create something beautiful. You see what I'm saying? But we don't do that. We get very, very lazy. That's our mindsets a lot of times. We get extremely lazy, and it's easier for a lot of people. They think it's easier for them to pick up that bottle or to snort that line or to inject that drug than to actually physically be proactive towards getting yourself out of that depression or out of those dark days. And it's unfortunate. That's what he did. That's what Ben Affleck ended up doing during that time. I don't know what his story is like now, but during that time of him going, okay, I feel like a failure. And then all of a sudden he's looking over and he sees the bottle screaming his name. It's an easy out instead of saying, hey, let me take this negative energy and turn this into a new script. Or let me take this negative energy and run a couple miles, right? Or take this negative energy and talk to my therapist, talk to my sponsor, talk to my friend, and work it out and get through it. But I don't think he was calling her the reason of his alcohol issue, the reason of his alcoholism. Not at all. But I do think it's very important that we all figure this out for ourselves. Whatever it is, whatever vices we have, whatever frustrations or whatever things that we have that are going on in our personal lives that is just frustrating us and making us lean towards that vice that we're used to going towards, that is negative, of course. We need to start listening to ourselves. We need to start talking to our people, talk to our loved ones. Lean more towards the positive lights in your life than going after those vices that you have. And here's the other thing too. Maybe the fact that Jennifer Lopez does not drink alcohol is probably a huge win for Ben Affleck. That could be it too. She's not around a bunch of alcohol, drinking like crazy or anything of that sort, because she wants to make sure her skin's on point all the time, keeps her youth in her, right? So maybe he's like, great, this is great. I don't have to worry about nothing. I don't have to worry about seeing this stuff around me. You see what I'm saying? And of course, he's got his ex-wife who's got his back. That's from what I've seen, at least from the stuff. So I think everybody needs to stop chopping up and screwing up what he said. The feeling of failure can be a crippling emotion. It can very well be a very crippling emotion. Anyway, guys. Ooh, that was loud. Anyway, guys, that's the show, guys. I really do appreciate all y'all for being on today. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but got things to do. Got some things I'm trying to set up. Oh, forgot. Man, I always do this. Think I'm done and then keeps pulling me back in. Okay, I got some very interesting and very cool news to tell you guys, and hopefully you guys will tune in tonight. I will be on live tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with a very special person. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Kendrick Johnson, but I'm getting a exclusive with Kendrick Johnson's mother, Jackie Johnson. She'll be on the show live tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So yes. And if you don't remember who Kendrick Johnson is, Kendrick Johnson was the student, the young black student that was found rolled up in a wrestling mat with his shoes off, organs missing in his body, and they're still trying to figure out what the hell happened to this young man. She has still been, to this day, Jackie and her family have still been out here trying to get justice for Kendrick. So she's going to be on the show tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to get down to it. We're going to get into it, and we're going to try to talk and find out what the hell happened here, and hear her perspective, hear her thoughts on all this, because this story is strange. It's a big mystery, and hopefully we can crack this case in a way with having her on. So tonight, right here on the Pascal Show, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be on the show live with Kendrick Johnson's mother. So tune in. You don't want to miss this one. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. I will see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Like I said, you want to see this. So tune in. Okay? And for those of y'all who are on Discord or Twitter or whatever, please share. Let them know. Let the other family members and all that know that there's going to be a dope, very, very heavy show tonight. And I'm hoping that we're going to get some stuff. Like we're going to get some information that we didn't know. Okay? So spread the word. Share the love. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur.